Welcome back to Capybara Go, guys, and today we are talking about the unique, the best, the meta Whisper build. This one is like endgame option which has even more damage potential than before. So let me walk you through the basics and then we'll go into the details. This build is based on few things. Basic dagger attacks from the Whisperer based on the critical attack, that's obvious, but we have additional feature here. You will need this Sharp Rogue at the Mythic in order to get the Fire Wave trigger chance from all the daggers. That will be additional damage source for us because that combined together with this Sky Flame Ring will allow us to do 1.5% of target's max HP as a damage, which is extremely good for tougher enemies that has the higher health pool, because sometimes if you get unlucky with the build, you will be having a hard time dealing good damage with the Whisper because you need a lot of those dagger skills together. But with this build you have more of a leeway because those fire waves percentage base damage will do a lot. And yeah, from personal testing I found it to be superior to the original Whisper build, so that's a good thing. Now let's go over the things. First of all, you will need Whisper at Mythic for this because that will increase weapon crit rate for the attacks and crit damage, which is nice, but we need more weapon crit rate because we get rid of one of our brands over here, so we'll get to that a bit later. For the rings, it's necessary to have Sky Flame Ring at Legendary, so you will get that percentage of the target's max HP as a damage. Mythic isn't really needed. Lowering the cooldown of one fire strike is like nothing, so we're okay with that. All those collectible bonuses from the Sky Flame Ring are not there for us, so yeah, they can add a bit of stuff for you, but they are not necessary at all, so you can just go with the Legendary Ring and that's really easy to get. As for the rest of the rings, I suggest still using the Guardian Ring because it will give you more daggers and more survivability, and using Bloody Grail is a good option as always to get more normal damage out. The thing is, you're sacrificing one of the Guardian's rings, so you will have lower shield, so you will sacrifice a bit of survivability. So maybe because of that you might want to change the second Bloody Grail all the way to Proof of Glory to get extra HP and damage reduction. Depends. I would suggest going with double grail, so the difference isn't that high. For the armor, it's either the tunic for more DPS or Dragon's Breath armor for more survivability. I usually use Dragon's Breath armor and use tunic only for the boss fights, so we can deal more damage there. So let's equip this one for now. For the pets, it's still the same stuff. I use both Unicorn and the Slime King because Slime King gives us combo bonus while Unicorn gives us crit. So I like this combination over here. Obviously you use Elsa, and if you can upgrade her, if you can get her treasure, it will be even better, so you will get more stacks and freeze and everything. I got that and it's fantastic. And we might want to use Susu as well, but I'll talk about that later as variations of this build, so keep tuned for that. For now, I'll keep it simple. So this is accessible for most players without many changes. We can go all the way to fire build, but it will require a lot of additional stuff, which is very expensive, so we'll go simple with this. Now to the main part, the heroes and brands. For the heroes we have the same stuff. Basically Knight of the End is necessary for your survivability, and for the second one I still use Judgment Reaper, although Spring Orchid might be a good option here with extra lightning, Ice Spike and all those damages, since we'll be doing a lot of fire waves as well, but I'm not really sure how useful is that. For the brands I go with the Nimble Murloc because it gives us more combo is really good. Sharp Rogue obviously at the Mythic in order to get the fire wave, that's essential, and I use Wild Vulture at Legendary in order to get max combo count. If you can get it to Mythic that's even better, but once again we are on a budget here. Stone Guardian for more survivability, for extra shields, and it can be replaced by anyone. Before that I used to have the Bone Club Golem that gave us heavy blow, so more main weapon critical attack, but since we upgraded our weapon to Mythic, we don't need this guy anymore, because now our critical chance is pretty close to 100% even without this guy, so we can use this spot for someone else. So I substituted him for the sharp rogue. That allowed us to increase our DPS. If you are okay with survivability, you might want to replace the Stone Guardian for someone else. I think the main option is Fantasy Joker here. I haven't took a look at this guy close enough yet. I was sick when he was released, but basically his skills are working really well with daggers, and this global skill damage staking up to 20 times, so that's 40% right here, is really good, but it's really hard to get again, so for now we'll keep it simple with those 4 guys. So once again, for the variations, we'll talk about that after we'll go through the main stuff. Now to the mounts and artifacts. For the deploy, I use the same stuff as before. I even use the carpet for extra damage, then we have this Toffee for survivability, and dragon because that's the last one that I have really high. For the mount skill, transformation mount skill, I still use Diego because extra combo count is really good, and additional combo rate per turn is really necessary for this build, and I don't think I want to change it for someone else yet. The cool option is Majesty. That's a special mount that you could get on one of the events. It can give you more continuous damage, and when enemy takes continuous damage, we will gain shield equal to percentage of the damage. So, you know, that's kind of cool because that can add survivability, but I'm not ready to give up the extra combo yet. I think this is better for now, and this requires totally different build. I guess you will need like damage over time build, which is a separate thing, and as I said, it's very expensive. So yeah, it's just there for further testing right now. For the artifacts, the equipped one is a flying knife, because we get the dagger ability, which is pretty cool. I think it doesn't count as the dagger, to be honest, because those daggers that are flying out, they look different. I'm not sure about that. Let me know in the comments if you know about that. But that will add a lot of DPS because that's based on the daggers, and they take 1% of their max HP as the dagger damage as well. So, you know, that adds extra DPS quite a lot. Another good option is like the normal demonic eye, of course. And for the deployment, I have the sword over here, the cursed eye, and the dagger as well, because they are really good for the dagger build. So we have the new stuff over here that helps to our build. Honestly, it's not a game-changing thing, but it helps a lot. I checked it out, and the damage went up quite a lot with this flying knife, so it's a good thing to have. Now for the legacy, it's a bit complicated. Depending on the game mode you are going to, you might want to go for either ranger or a ghost. Right now I have my ranger all the way to tracker, and yeah, all the way to tracker, let's put it like that, to tier 3, and the ghost, same stuff, tier 3. So they kind of even for me right now, and I've noticed then that ranger is really good for stuff like PvP, where you can select additional skills, right, where you get in with what you have, because it adds you a bit more dagger damage and survivability, and it scales really well with other skills that we have right now. But if you can select additional skills like boss fight, campaign, dungeon, and all that stuff where you can actually get the skills, Ghost is superior in terms of the damage. Not sure about survivability, but usually I go with Ghost for more stuff, Ranger goes for PvP for me, something like that. So we'll keep the Ghost up right now, and honestly, I need a bit more work on this Mischief ability right now, but it's expensive. And yeah, Bone Lord Skeleton is another option, but honestly, for this build, you should have enough combo based on your other sources, so you won't need that and you will get more DPS. So I don't go with this guy right now. For the adventure, I'm not sure which will be the best build, but I still use my Dragon Girl because she gives massive stat bonuses right now. So I'm going with this lady over here. Not that many options again. I would like to get the little Bear Prince option for the bleeding damage and all that stuff, but I'm greedy, so screw that. That one works okay, and honestly, those guys are so hard to level up, it doesn't really matter. You don't want to change them around too much. And I mean, not just leveling up, but increasing their stars in order to unlock their adventure skills. That's expensive. All right, I think that we covered everything, and now it's time to go for testing. I can tell you that I managed to progress my dungeon from 950 to 1000, so that's a serious progress here, and tower challenge is good as well. Let's give it a try. I'm not sure how it will go, haven't tried it for a while. By the way, for the tower, we would like to use the ranger build as well, because the ghost build requires skills to be more useful, since we don't really get the lightning daggers or anything like that. It's not that good, but even like that, we still progress pretty well here. I think I was stuck for a while, but we can keep going. Let's actually switch this one around. There we go. Ranger Legacy, let's go. So yeah, the things in the tower are going way better. We can progress those quite a lot. That will give us some books, but nothing really crazy serious. Let's move on to the campaign. Oh, we're actually done. Yeah, we can have several tries and probably will overcome the enemies, but what's most important that your damage. Oh, by the way, right now, like starting today, we have the new feature. For the bosses, you can pick skills now. So that makes Whisperer build even better. So you go with the skill build, then you select the skills that you want here, obviously the dagger skills, right? And the difference between the normal Whisperer build, where you want to get like a rage dagger, where you want to get the more daggers like bolt daggers and that kind of stuff, and getting multiple daggers over here if you can, getting the combo master, the normal stuff, that you want to add something like rage fire strike if you can. That will allow you to use the fire strike not only on the daggers but on each rage attack, which can happen quite often, and that's extra damage, percentage damage to the enemies. And I don't think that like round-based fire strike matters for that matter. So the only difference is that you get this one. Other than that, I don't think that you need to focus on something like burn damage right now, unless you go to the alternate build for the burn that requires immense investment. So yeah, basically the same stuff. And now you can select different skills. I think it's like 5 normal skills, 3 legendary and 2 mythic skills, and you can get the set build. So you're not dependent on RNG that much anymore, which is pretty cool. So that makes those boss fights even better. Now let's move on to the adventure. Let's make sure that we get the right stuff over here. There we go. Gust, activate legacy. And let's go to the Stellar City. Last time I failed at day 39. Let's see how it will go right now. So I think I tried this build already before just to show you how it works. But basically, yeah, we go with the same setup that we get for the normal Whisperer, but we get extra oomph because of this dagger, we get extra oomph before of the fire daggers, and that makes it so much better. Basically, if you will manage to get that insane dagger attack skill, like getting multiple daggers and double daggers, that will just decimate everyone. And you can add survivability by getting the shield, by getting the rage shield, that kind of stuff. That helps quite a lot. So right now we can actually get fire guard, because now it will give us ability to get extra fire strike in that will take percentage of enemy health. And still, specifically right now, on all the options where you can increase your max HP, you want to increase that for survivability, because damage is not the problem anymore. You have percentage based damage in addition to your crazy dagger damage that allows you to basically decimate the enemies. So now all you need to do is survive till the moment when your daggers kick in and do the rest of the work. If you want to know which kind of skills do you need, you can watch my video on Whisperer skill tier list. It should be somewhere here. It's kind of the same, but as I said, you just add rage-based fire strike to the list somewhere in A tier. But other than that, you play it like a normal Whisperer build, and this is just an upgrade. And take a look at that. The Godslayer sword is actually pretty cool. It adds quite a lot of DPS. Sadly, we don't have the stats to see the percentage of each skill, but it works really well. And especially with the mount introduction as an additional HP, you get more survivability, because on the bosses with the poison, you won't be one-shotted anymore most of the time. So yeah, there we go, our first boss. Let's see how it will go for us. I think it will go really easily, especially now with additional crit skill that we managed to get here. This one, Crit Mastery, it's really good. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that after the build up, now the changes that we have from the previous build, that we have treasured Elsa. So we have 5 stacks of damage reduction from the enemy, so they do lower damage and they take more damage because of that. Then we have the Whisperer stack that adds additional weapon crit rate, so we have that. Then we have what? The carpet and all other bonuses that we have over here. So it's pretty cool, and now you will always have the burn on that. So if you want to kind of capitalize on that and get the skill that give you additional damage to the burn enemies, you can do that as well, because you will get the burn all the time because of the rogue that we had before. Let's actually get heavy attack just to make sure that we'll get the crit rate earlier. Pyromancer would be good if we would have the burn damage bonuses, but right now I'll take revive, so it will give us higher chances of surviving just in case it will go overboard with taking damage, so it should be good. This is almost always a no. I only pick like max HP bonus over here because you lose way too much of your max HP for the demon and it's not worth it because your survivability suffers so much. Even for the cool skills, usually if I go for the demon, I just die right afterwards. So yeah, usually it's a no. The second boss, and we have this annoying pirate that actually poisons us. So let's see how it works. The cool thing about the fire wave that it deals damage to both enemies. So every time it's triggered, like both of those guys are taking percentage-based damage. So by the time the first fella will go down without normal attacks and stuff, the second one will be more damage than before, which is pretty cool if you ask me. So we take out like, I think 20% of its health already, or so, without the direct attack. So that makes finishing it off easier, and this is additional nice bonus to this build. If you have multiple enemies, it's more effective against them, because percentage-based attacks are working for all of them. Damage to burning targets, there we go. It's not that great, but it's something, and they will be burning all the time, so that's extra DPS, faster killing and everything, so why the hell not? Rage Shield. Now this is a really good survivability option, especially if you have the Rage Dagger, which we don't have, so yeah, not that great. But still, even with casual rage attacks, it's enough to make you feel safer, because the shield is actually pretty nice, increasing your health pool so you won't be one-shotted and all that stuff. Oh yeah, another cool addition for the Ghost Legacy, that you can actually freeze enemies because of that. It lowers their immune to control stuff, so there is a higher chance that you will stun them, freeze them, and get any control effects on them. That can save you quite a lot of times, because that will allow you to, stun the enemies and get a chance to do extra attacks and recover while they can't do stuff. Alright, what do we get here? I need survivability. So we are getting to the boss now. I'm not sure if we will win because we get really crappy build here. So yeah, take a look at this. We don't really get any dagger skills whatsoever. And we don't have a lot of survivability. Usually, like on the normal Whisperer build, that would be a lose for sure, because we don't have enough damaging skills, we don't have enough survivability skills, we would lose. I'm really curious if we'll be able to do it right now with this build, because we get percentage damage to the enemy. Even with the low amount of daggers, we should be able to handle it. The problem is our survivability, which is really low, so yeah, it's about the numbers. If we'll be able to take it out before it will take us out, and we get the resurrection as well. That will allow us to sort of get a couple of extra shots at the enemy. I have a bad feeling about this. Honestly, our damage isn't that great. We don't get that many daggers, and survivability is all off. Here, as you can see, we still lose all our health in one hit from the enemy. We are down to our last health here, so we don't get any mounts left. We don't get that many health recovery options. The boss is actually pretty low, 50%, so we just evaded the attack, by the way. That was pretty cool, and we stunned the enemy. That gave us extra opportunity to do more damage. Half of its HP is done, and the cool thing that we get the build up. Oh yeah, we don't get the attack bonuses as well. We don't get the combo bonuses, so we are in a really bad situation right here. Revive. Alright, this is our last health pool, and I think we won't be able to make it. But we are so close that we couldn't be that close without this build, guys. I would die at like 50% beforehand. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. I think we... Oh, that was so close. It got only 100 million health left. So yeah, even with the crappy luck with the skills, you can still win this. So if I'll play this stage a couple of times and get a bit better skills, like for example, Rage Dagger, that will be enough to get out a couple more rage attacks and more shield. That will be good enough. So yeah, let's sum it up. How useful is this build? This is a pretty much higher DPS and percentage-based damage, higher DPS than the normal Whisperer, at the cost of a bit of survivability, which is way better for the bosses, like the enemies where you need to do most DPS, so it will help you with the Seal Boss and Guild Boss, which is really cool. Also, I think it helps with the dungeon quite a lot. How can it be upgraded even further? Well, if we will take a step forward and try to make the damage over time build, which is very tricky. So we will need something like Lava Giant for the brand that will increase max burn stacks, and maybe we need to get lucky with the infinite burn stacks. We will need a lot of upgrades for the global burn and damage over time damage, so this is this guy. Then we need this Overlord Deer mount upgraded in order to get those continuous damage bonuses that will give us shields. I think that works really well together. Probably upgrade this axe in order to use that one, so we will focus on flame waves, and we will basically use Whisper in order to project the fire waves and fire damage over time damage. I haven't really tried it because, I mean, it requires immense investments, and if you guys know something about it, let me know in the comments. I'm really curious to know if I should chase that or not. But yeah, getting all those special pets, special bonuses that will add to the damage over time effects is hard because they are rare, they're hard to get, and also I see how developers are kind of going towards that direction. They got the Wukong for us right now for counter damage, and there are multiple things that boost the counter damage now, and kind of working on damage over time as well. So I'm curious if that will be a viable build one day, and how hard it will be to get it, and how good it will be in comparison with like Whisper or simple Sky Splitter, which is, I think, still superior to everything. So yeah, let me know what do you think of this and this current meta build for the Whisper down below in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and thank you very much for watching. It's been Kosh. Have a good one. Bye.